Welcome to the educational portion of the Goose Lake Prairie website, sponsored and maintained by the Goose Lake Prairie Partners. I'm Chuck Jonson. I'm a Prairie partner. My wife, Susie Jonson, was the president from 2006 to 2016. So all of my ideas had to be filtered through her, and this auditorium was one of them. Sometime around 2010, I thought she should put a mural on the outside wall of the hallway to reach the auditorium. It would have been like walking through history. But that wasn't feasible because the outside wall has weather problems, and periodically it has to be taken down and replaced. We can't do that with a mural. So my next idea was to put it on this wall, which is 29 feet long, and because it was 29 feet long, it worked out very well for 7 4x8 panels. After I worked with a lot of publications, talked with a lot of archaeologists, paleontologists, and historians about this area, they could not come up with exact dates on when things made the change. So we just blurred everything through on date-wise. So the first panel covers the glacier and megafauna. That's mammoths, mastodons, saber-toothed tigers, short-nosed bears, which were maybe twice to 3 times the size of grizzly bears. That all existed during that time period. Then the second one is the remaining megafauna, because we all know that mammoths and some of the other large creatures at that time, great ground sloths, which were much larger than me, were killed off by the early Paleo Indians. The third panel, that covers the progression from Paleo-Indian culture to archaic Indian culture. The third panel covers archaic to woodland Indians. The fourth one covers the first Europeans coming into the area, the first settlers. And when I say the first Europeans, of course, we also had in the previous time period, we had Marquette and Joliet, some trappers, and so those are indicated on there with Marquette and Joliet and on the 2 canoes. The fifth panel was the first businesses moving into the area and better farming with a steel plow. This is prairie land, as you know, and prairie land was very difficult to work on with a wooden plow. So when John Deere invented the steel plow, it was a big boon to prairie soils. The sixth covers the transportation, the dam, the brick and coal industries. The seventh is what we see today. It includes our park and a visitor center. And my original idea was just to paint on the wall. However, the 7 panels, 4x8 feet, stretched all the way to the end. And then my problem was, how do I attach them to the wall? So I had to come up with a suspension system where they would be held at the bottom and at the top. And at the end, we would be able to slide them out. Whenever they do a lot of work in the area, it's going to be dusty. It's going to be possibly damaging to the panels. So they're made to be able to slide right on out, store it away until it's cleaned up and we can put them back up again. Another one of the problems that we ran across was that, as you can see, the screen, back before the panels were thought of, was attached directly to the wall. So whenever you lower the panel or lower the screen down, it would fall onto the murals and possibly scratch them up. So one of our additions was to come out about 6 inches so that it wouldn't be scratching on the panels. And so we had to raise funds for the mural. I went out to try to find a muralist. I talked with several of them. One of them was willing to do the work. So we wound up with a gentleman in town, Ray Grossi at Midwest Sign Works. And Ray was willing to do it for a price that I could afford, and that his office or his studio is about 20 feet high, so he had no problems with it. In trying to find a videographer, I looked all over and couldn't find one who was willing to do it until I found Shelley Lefevre at Joliet Junior College. And she had two gentlemen who she thought would be very good at this, and so she developed a class for them to do it. And as she says, they are interns. After our first meeting, Dylan Eigenear added the idea of putting them on a website so people could access them from phones, tablets, and computers. The idea means people around the world will learn of the park and the area. Many people will decide to come and visit to see what we have recorded here about the park and the area. Schools will be able to access the knowledge for their class discussions. The project has grown from a simple mural painted on a wall that has since been weather damaged to what it is today. I hope the visitors and the people will access the information, enjoy the results as much as the partners and all of us involved in its many aspects.